aggressive repertoire. So we will see. She plays Dutches, especially in Blitz, Dutch, a lot of aggressive French, if that's even a thing, which it is. So we'll see what happens. Might see a Dutch on the board because I think Anna is more of a D4 player.
And the women are taking their seats, getting set for this final game. Remember, it is not a must-win game for either player. The white pieces, obvious preference here to Muzychuk. You'd rather have the white pieces, but Eline was able to score with the white pieces in the last game. Anna can win and take this match here with the white pieces, but remember, either player wins, they move on to the final against Bibisara. If it's a draw, we go into this Armageddon format that we just discussed.
Here we go. All right. Let me see what you guys think of. Come on, Eline. Everybody. Okay, Eline. Some Eileens. Got it.
I saw the chat asked a question. What happens if they both bid the exact same? Oh. I actually have an answer to that. And the answer is that they truly just draw lots for colors. Like literally, pick a hand with which pawn in it. So that is the format I believe that FIDE is using for this one. But we only have one game in progress here. So we'll stick right with the action. Anna Muzychuk, the white pieces, Eline with the black pieces, winning when she needed to in that last game to even up the match. And James, it's all come down to a single game to determine our next finalist.
I'm not gonna lie, I love the opening choice with an ALEKHINE here, or ALEKHINE. Very fun opening. Looking for some real chances and imbalance of the game, which is totally normal here. Totally normal. With the bishop on G7 too, these type of variations are sharp. You get in a lot of trouble here if you don't know what you're doing.
Precisely. There's a lot of tricks to watch out for. Bishop to F5 played. The early H3 by white in order to prevent bishop G4. That's usually the move that's very annoying. Tough to deal with because a bishop takes F3. And if you take with the bishop, you lose the C pawn.
See what happens. I got cooked by the ALEKHINE. I also have cooked, but gotten cooked with the ALEKHINE before. So let's see what happens.
The move D5 being shouted for by the computer as an important move to play, with the idea that perhaps if C5, that knight could jump into the C4 square behind it, and if white has to give up the light squared bishop, immediately the bishop on F5 becomes very powerful. And remember, any opening, like for example, the ALEKHINE, where you are giving up space in the center, you usually have to strike back at some point. You can't just let the position be, and D5 played in the middle. I don't like the move H6. It feels way too slow for an opening where you're supposed to be counterattacking. I suspect we'll see B3 played very quickly here, and B3 looks like a big advantage for white.
This is sort of the line that is one of the most annoying to face as an ALEKHINE player, is when this pawn gets to B3 like this and the bishop on G7 is kind of hitting air, as they say. So she plays G5 to get her some room.
This position is absolutely terrible, James. The knights could not go to D7 because of G4, trapping the bishop. That explains why the move G5 was played by Eline. But now you can continue with bishop D3 to trade the bishops. You're taking control of the F5 square. You can also blast the position open with F4. I know that the material is equal, but this position is really close to being dead lost.
It's tough because you're trying to get something imbalanced here. Maybe you can try some F5, F4, even with this exchange sacrifice, just launching everything on that side of the board. Very risky, but of course that was the opening choice. It was very risky.
Oh, this is really close to just dead loss. Like, look at the knight, right? Coming into E6. The rook is being hit. You have queen D3 to gain tempo, attacking the pawn on G6. These are basic moves for white to play in stride with tempo. And from here, I think it might be the simplest to just play the move, probably F4, and just open everything up. You could also reposition the knight from C3.
Oh, man. This is about to get nasty. Knight G5, take, queen G6. Like, bro, it's about to get scary here.
There's two knights MIA from the game. Knight on B6, knight on B8, doing absolutely nothing. And the attack is all on the king side. This looks like Anna has a phenomenal chance. Probably the move G4 can be considered as well, just to boot that rook out. James, I am struggling to come up with a defensive idea here for Eline. After a great game with the white pieces, unfortunately, this ALEKHINE has fallen a little short.
Yeah, definitely a difficult one. It's all about the piece activity and being very sharp and imbalanced here that you get from ALEKHINEs or ALEKHINEs here. But was not able to get it as the knight's on b6 and a6. Look at this knight on a8. Now, of course, it is some rerouting. Knight gets around to c7, but not ideal at all. Bishop d4, it seems as though Anna will be moving on. Anything can happen, though. There's still some sharpness, but really hard to mess this position up with the white pieces.
Yep, bishop d4, looking for trades. Bishop e5, I believe, is the response, which is an interesting one. My first thought is the move g4, because then perhaps taking the bishop is a bit more desirable. Also, taking on e5 directly, it's even unclear if the rook should be recapturing, because what I want to do and what I've wanted to do for a long time is play the move f4. And I think that Eline is realizing how strong f4 is and is trying to prevent it.
CG4, what is he going to go with? What would you do here? Would you just resign him on, or are you just going to play this out?
Absolutely not. With everything that's on the line, these women have had phenomenal tournaments. They are both a game away from the final. Despite what this game looks like, what this position looks like, they are both a result away from the finals. There is absolutely zero chance I'm resigning this position.
Absolutely not. That's what I'm talking about there. We're going to fight on, even if it's terrible, and it is. But, okay, I have some hope. I have a little bit of hope. Anything can still happen here. Knight to c7. Man, that knight was bad on a8, but not anymore. Trying to get rid of that great knight on e6. There's a sacrifice. Takes. Knight takes g5, king g8. Maybe take on e5 first for whatever reason. This feels better. She goes for it.
I think what's going to happen here is playing against these two knights that are really not part of the game. Now, in my opinion, this is absolutely not good enough for how good the position was, because there are a number of positions in chess where those two knights will be able to outplay the rooks despite all these extra pawns. White has a huge advantage if played correctly, but it just feels like knights are tricky enough pieces. A lot can still go wrong. I think that Eline has a lot to be happy about getting this position compared to where we were.
Absolutely. I think it was more of a restriction type of game where you just restrict the pieces a little bit more, restrict the counterplay rather than look for sacrifices. I know it's hard, obviously, and we love to sacrifice pieces. White's still better, but the knights can maneuver around to try to create something.
You've got to trade queens really here, I think.
Take them off the board.
If you don't trade queens, I feel the mate coming, James.
You feel the mate coming. It's mate in 17.
I do. I just feel that if we make a move that does not trade the queens here, I'm getting concerned. Time is ticking down. Under 20 seconds now. Rook's coming to f3. The knights are still not in the game. Ultimately, I think the correct decision made to take on e5.
Mate. Coming out. Rook check. Might as well. Still one in there. b4 first. Where are you going with the knight? Knight d7. Good rook check. Double up. c5. All kind of moves. Maybe not c5. c5 does hang a pawn.
We might see rook f to e3
like the
here.
Are annoying.
Rook to f to e3, hitting e7. We got f4. The king is moving up the board. White has every single pawn except one, and the move e5 was played because there's just no defense to all of the pressure in the position, and the knights, meanwhile, have nowhere to go. This is all Anna Muzychuk as she's looking to punch her tickets to the finals.
And, all kinds of fun opening here. And this today did not look fun at all. This is not the ALEKHINE we want to play from the black side. f5 pawns look really good. Takes. Maybe a king h6 there. Try to get the king to g5. It can easily be kicked away, I think. Let's see what she goes for.
Yeah, I think we kind of want king f6, knight g7, and then you can target this pawn. I wouldn't say this is completely over yet, but a couple more good moves by white, and rook d2 is certainly one of them. Rook d7, I think you can play, but then I'm expecting king to f6, and then perhaps rook d3 and go to d7 again.
Very nice. Very nice. Too many pawns. Not enough. The knights are doing what they can. Knight f4. Maybe rook takes e7 first. Rook takes e7. Do it again. There it is.
Yep. D7. There's going to be a breakthrough c5 and b5 here that white is most likely going to utilize. Not required, but that is a good way to get past the knight. And actually b5, normally not what you want to do. And I think this is going to be just marginally more difficult, but 100% winning. And after knight g3, f6, f7, and rook maybe
Rook d8.
takes b6.
Rook d8 was nice too, but I guess there was a knight e6 or knight. Yeah.
There's no pawns on the board, so we can already say the winning chances do not really exist for Eline.
There are always some fun checkmates. King, you can't mate with 2 knights, and like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Magnus, Fabi, Arjun, all spotted in the background coming back for their games. And that looks like a resignation and a finals ticket for Anna Muzychuk with a really emphatic defeat here of Eline Roebers in the final game of this matchup.